Welcome to Farming Fridays Week 3. Build your brand around neighborhood culture using annual events. Today we're going to dig deep in how you become the neighborhood name or the trusted name inside of any given area that you choose to tackle. So I look forward to it and ask you one question. Does your real estate career have a foundation? Do you know on January 1st every year that you can count on your first 10, 20, $30,000 coming from one source of business? Do you have a plan or are you just kind of winging it? Well, within Farming Fridays, we're going to teach you how to have a plan so that you know where that first amount of income is going to come from. My name is Carrie Fitzpatrick, and I am one of the lucky founders of the program being brought to you here today. I have a bachelor's degree in education, a master's degree in administration, and 30 years in residential real estate experience. The fun part about what I get to do is I get to couple my two careers, my education career, my teaching career, and my real estate career. I've either done it myself, managed someone who was doing it, or as I continue to do, dig into all the things, the latest and greatest technologies that are out there in order to sell real estate in today's day and age. So far in Farming Fridays, we've talked about how to pick and work your farm, how to dissect your farming prospects using data analytics, and today in week 3, we're going to build your brand around neighborhood culture using annual events. Next week, we'll talk about in with the old and in with the new. Week 5 will be managing your distribution team, and then week 6 will be economies of scale. But what I would like to do first is go over the 3 simple rules that we talked about in week 1. Never enter a geographic farm area where one listing agent closes more than 25% of the listings in that area. Number 2 was never project more than 10% capture of the listing side commission during the first year of your farm. We never want to assume that we're going to collect or capture more than that 10%. It takes a while to break into it. It takes a while to make yourself the neighborhood name. And then the final rule was never spend more than 10% of your projected gross revenue on your farming activities. You don't want to go out there and spend a lot of money and not be able to recoup that money. So everything that we do here is spend a dime, make a dollar. Spend a dime, make a dollar. If you didn't come to week 1 and you would like to, you can always catch it on our on-demand section so that you can get the down and dirty details about how you're going to find your subdivision, what you're going to do as far as it. And I hope that you emailed me your homework. Those of you who did a great job on it, and we've been getting them in and answering back with all of the questions and things that you've got, checking it over and making sure. We're to look at the number of closings that happened 2 years prior, the previous year, and then what's happened during this year. Do that math, get the gross volume, and then subtotal it up and divide it up by 2.5%, multiply it by 3%, and find out exactly what your annual operating budget is. I'm not going to go into the details on that because we went over it at great length during week 1. We also wanted to make sure that you knew what the top listing agent as a percentage was because of that never go into an area 25% rule. In week 2, we talked about building your binder. We talked about adding in what you're going to do and how you're going to look at it. We put in the page 1 of the binder was the homework from week 1. Page 2 was your due diligence, where you went in and found out exactly where things were, what we were going to do with it, and how you were going to build upon that. So go back and watch week 2 if you want to find out exactly what those things are. And then we talked about what pages you were to have in your book. And when I say pages, it's really sections. So I've got page 3 is list pendants. That would be section 3 would be your list pendant section. Page 4 or section 4 would be your seasoned expireds. I see a typo there. In page or section 5, we had your expires year to date. Then so on and so forth for sale by owners, the recent purchases, the people who've purchased in the last 36 months. probable renters, the people that you think probably are renting, and you get that from your probable absentee owners. Then you're going to get your established residences. Those are the people who've been there between 10 and 15 years. And then your probable empty nesters are the people who've been there for more than that. They've raised their children in these homes, and they're probably empty nesters, and they may be looking for downgrading or moving into a smaller home. We also talked about the fact that you would have a market share probably of 10% the first year, and maybe 15% the second year, and maybe 20% the third year, and what that income could be for you, and how you would build upon that year after year after year. And we don't want you to break into a geographic farm area if you're going to give up in a year, if you're going to give up in 6 months. You know, this is a long-term process. This is something that you build over time. You build up your quote-unquote inventory. You build up your credibility inside of that area as the years go on. So don't do it for a day, don't do it for a week, don't do it for a month. Plan on doing this for, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Today, we're going to talk about how you create a social network of families that have shared interest and personal similarities. We're going to talk about how you're going to build your brand. You're the brand, and how you're going to build your brand around those events. So we're going to give you a blueprint that you can watch or that you can fill in. We're going to give you a way for you to touch these families and how you're going to schedule these events. But first, I'm going to teach you about how to create the things that you need to create in order to do that and get the word out. You're going to have to apply some forethought here, and you're going to have this predetermined budget that you did back in week 1, right? For your maximum exposure and building that credibility within your target audience, which is that geographic farm. And your plan is going to be to make 24 contacts during the next 12 months. So that's 2 per month, while investing less than 10% of your projected income. So I'm going to show you some ways that are inexpensive. I'm going to show you some ways that are free, and I'm going to show you some ways that cost a little bit of money. So let's talk about that. You can do door hangers, you can do postcards, you can do letters, you can do newsletters, you can do a value report, and then you could do some giveaways. And I'm going to give you examples of each of those. A door hanger is a inexpensive way that you can touch people. It's not the most inexpensive way, but it is a way that you can touch people. You can choose to do a postcard twice per month. You can choose to write them a letter. When you're writing a letter, though, make sure that you're doing it with blue ink, handwritten on the outside, and that you do not put your name or your company's name in the return address. Only write the address of your real estate company when you're filling out the return address. Now, if you're choosing to do a letter, you don't have to do it yourself. You don't have to write it yourself. You can hire maybe your teenage niece or nephew. You can hire your retired parents to assist you with the hand addressing of these envelopes. So you can hire it out. When I say hire, I mean for dinner, maybe, or maybe a day at the arcade. You can hire it out for family event type things, so you're getting double bang for your buck, right? You're spending time with your children or your niece or your nephew, and you're paying them with an event that will be enjoyable for you and family time. Dinner for your parents would be really enjoyable for them, and you're going to pay your mother or your father, if they have good handwriting, in order to do that. You can create a neighborhood newsletter. I do a neighborhood newsletter class that you can look up on demand and learn exactly how to do everything to do with it so that you can get it for free. We teach you in that class how to go around and get sponsors for it and how to get people who will deliver it for you. We teach you all of those things. Same with a value report. You can add your value report into your letter, or you can drop it off as its own individual handoff. And we're going to talk about some giveaways that you can do so that you can also do that. Now, events are a completely separate topic, right? So we want to schedule some events inside of your area. We want to schedule at least 2 per year. Events. Now, those will cost you a little bit of money, but you can also get sponsors for those. You can go to your neighborhood title company. You can go to your neighborhood Chinese food restaurant and say, I'm having this event. Can I host it here? I'm bringing in everybody from the neighborhood, and will you give me a deal? The title company will kick in, the restaurant will kick in, and then maybe not an inspection company, but the air conditioning company in the area or the gym in the area. These people will help you to sponsor this. So if you go to them and you ask them for assistance, they will in turn give you the assistance that you require, whether it be financially for just a simple invitation so that they can go and rub elbows with these people as well. Maybe you're going to give a web update, which is an inexpensive way for you to do that once you gather email addresses from your geographic farm, a value report or announcements. Or maybe you're going to do a webcast where you get on and you talk about best ways for you to stage your home because you took our staging designation, and you invite them all to that webcast. So all of these things are a little less expensive because of the reason that you're going to get them sponsored. And then the most inexpensive way would be for you to do email or social media. Door knock is free, and you get to walk around and lose a little bit of weight. You can make telephone calls. When you're making your telephone calls, do a survey. I'm just doing a survey in the area. I was wondering how old your roof was, because I'm trying to get the average age of all the roofs in the house. I'm trying to get the average age of all the roofs in the neighborhood. Hey, this is Carrie Fitzpatrick from ABC Real Estate Company. I'm doing a survey to find out how many people have replaced their air conditioners in the neighborhood. I just took a listing around the corner, and I'm trying to get that information for my homeowner to see how they compare with you in your area. So now you're not making a cold call that's, hey, do you want to sell your house? You're making a phone call to create rapport, to build credibility, to let them know the lengths that you're willing to go when you list a home. And you don't really care about how old their air conditioner is, or whether or not it's been replaced, or if it was the original roof. You want them to hear your voice, you want them to hear your name, you want them to know that you're in the area and that you're doing this, and you're doing it on the behalf of your seller. Makes a little bit of sense, right? And what you're doing in that is you are going to collect that data so that when you do talk to them, you're going to know that their air conditioner is the original air conditioner that was there. And you say, hey, has that thing broken yet? So you get to have different ways to make conversation. And you're going to take notes when you're making those telephone calls inside of your binder, so that when you're making your phone calls the next time and you're taking a different survey or you're calling them about the event that you're going to have, you have those notes in there, and you know that when you're talking to Mrs. Jones that she has an original roof on her home, and you ask about that last storm that we had, and did she have any trouble with it, and does she need the name of the roofer that you use, because that roofer might be somebody who's going to sponsor your event at your annual event, or they may assist you in helping you to sponsor your neighborhood garage sale. It all comes together. So you're going to touch these people 2 times each month. You're going to take the homework this time that I give you this week, and you're going to do the math that goes along with each touch. So when you're writing down that you're going to make phone calls or take a survey for that no cost touch, you're going to say, this touch doesn't cost me any money. When you're saying that you're going to do your garage sale, you're going to have to say, okay, I am going to take and get sponsors for that, so it's not going to cost me any money, or it's going to cost me very little money. So we're going to take, in this week's homework, a document that I give you, and you're going to knock out and you're going to write down every single thing that you're going to do for the entire year. And you're going to project what it's going to cost you in order for you to achieve those 24 touches for this year. We've been teaching this for 28 years. We've taught over 5,000 associates how to do this. We've used this forethought and budgeting in order for that first year 10% market share, that second year 15% market share, and that third year 20% market share. So we're going to give you your predetermined accomplishments in your farm, and then we're also going to allow you, or we're going to require you to fill in your homework document so that you can spell out every single thing. And I'm going to go through it and I'm going to look and say, do you think that's really going to cost you $100? I don't know. What are you planning on getting as far as sponsorship? What are you planning on doing? Are you planning on who are you planning on getting that sponsorship from? Is it going to be the neighborhood roofer? Is it going to be the Chinese food restaurant? Is it going to be the title company? Who's going to sponsor this event for you? And how are you going to set that up? So I'm going to teach you today how to create certain groups on certain different areas, in certain different areas. I'm going to teach you how to create a private Facebook group, which is your first assignment for this week. So I want you to create a private Facebook group on Facebook. I want you to create a private group on Facebook called XYZ Homeowners. Inside of that group, you're going to then start to invite the people that you know live there. So you're going to go in and maybe search homeowners' names. Maybe you have a couple, then you can go through their friends list and you can look for the people that they're friends with who also live in the area, and you're going to start to invite them to that private Facebook group. So as an example here, I have one that we've created called Wyndham Lakes. We always use that as an example. So in order for you to create a Facebook private group, you're going to go in to your Facebook profile and you're going to select the option that says Create Page. Once you click that option, you're then going to go in and choose Public, Closed, or Secret. You're going to choose Closed and you're going to hit that Create button. Once you hit that Create button, you'll choose an icon for it. So do you want to choose a tree? Do you want to choose a house? Do you want to choose anything that you want to choose from the icons that are there? And you're going to hit OK. Once you hit OK, it's going to create a group and it's going to say, oh, you've created a group. Then it's going to prompt you to upload a photo. Now, if you notice in my sample that I showed you at the beginning, I have the monument sign for the neighborhood itself. So you'll upload your photo. Then it's not going to prompt you, so you're going to have to just do it. You're going to add a description about what your Facebook group is about. It's about like-minded people inside of a neighborhood that are in a group in order for them to get the latest updates and things that are going on inside of their neighborhood. So you'll create that description about the neighborhood, and then you're going to add a cover photo, which would be maybe a picture of a sample home, maybe something that is prevalent in that neighborhood, or you can put your photo in there, but you'll add a cover photo as well. So there's regular photo and then also the photo that goes into the little square that's in the upper left-hand corner. What can you do with your Facebook group? How can you communicate with your homeowners inside of there, and what should you be doing? Well, you can build rapport and credibility when you're door knocking or telemarketing. You're going to ask them when you're having your survey conversation, hey, can I invite you to be a member of our private Wyndham Lakes or Grand Isle or Shadowwood Facebook group? Okay, I'm going to send, so now you're going to ask them to be a member of that group. You're going to friend request them for your Facebook. You're going to invite them to like your Facebook business page inside of your real estate. You're going to establish a sense of community with the homeowners. And this community is controlled by you. So this community inside of your Facebook business group or your private Facebook group, it's all going to be controlled by you. So you're going to be able to report the things that you feel are important. You're also going to post subdivision specific value. So the things that you're going to put inside of that Facebook private group, I'm going to have to stop saying that because it's getting very difficult for me to say. It's not rattling off my tongue. Are going to add specific value, homeowners association news, rules that may have changed, announcements that may be coming in from the homeowners association. You know, back in the day, we had in my homeowners association, there was a vote on whether or not they would add money into our neighborhood dues so that they could add new landscaping into the front, and they wanted to add $100 a month to the dues that were due. And we only had 16 of our 78 homeowners show up. Those 16 people voted that in. Nobody else had anything to say about it. It was voted in, and they were able to add $100 a month. Well, do you think that if people in the neighborhood would have known that there was a possibility that they were going to be charged $400 or I'm sorry, $300 extra a quarter, that maybe somebody may have shown up, some more people would have shown up? Well, I'm pretty darn sure that they would have. You can help with that. You can help with the voting and the meetings that are coming up. You can help with subdivision photos. You can take them, things that are happening new, and report on that. You can add community news to it. What's happening in the community? When are the soccer tryouts? When are the football tryouts? When are the lacrosse tryouts? Are there new restaurants opening? Or does anybody have anything to say about some restaurants, good, bad, or indifferent? Are there homeowners that own restaurants in the neighborhood that would like to advertise inside of it? What's happening for the holidays? Is anything going on? Are you doing anything special? It's a way for you to advertise your things that we're going to talk to you about. Put the school calendar in there so that they can get it. Put the school calendar in it the way that you want it to be seen, and I'll explain more about that in a minute. Real estate and finance news reports. Who just sold? Who just listed? How are the prices stacking up? What are the market updates going on in the area? Are there any mortgage offerings that any of your loan officers that you do business with are offering? Can they be a part of your private group? Absolutely. They're the reason that you're in this class today. They brought you here. So let them be a part of it. Let them post inside of it as well. Let them bring value. Let them talk about different things. Maybe they have a new program that's available for self-employed people that wasn't available last month. Maybe they have a new renovation loan that they can talk about. Maybe they have things that they can offer. Maybe they can share different things about interest rates and where they are. Invite your moving person to be a part. Talk about staging and different things that they can do in order to stage their home to sell more profitably and for less days on the market. Talk about all those things inside of your private Facebook group. Because when you add value, you're going to build credibility. When you add value, you're going to build rapport. And all of those things will come as a result of you having a private Facebook group for your geographic farm area. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to create a subdivision account on Instagram. Instagram is becoming more and more popular. So part of your homework for this week is to follow works on Instagram so that you can see everything that's happening. And also, I would like for you to follow me, and then I can follow you back so that I can see what your Instagram account looks like. In order to create a Instagram account, you will go to your current Instagram account, your personal one. Your personal Instagram account will then have these three little lines that are in the upper right-hand corner, if you see that first screenshot that I took for you. When you click on that, the settings page will show up. You're going to go down to the blue Add Account. So I've circled it there for you. That's the second screenshot that I took. And then you're going to say, don't have an account, sign up. The reason you're going to choose that option is because if you already have an Instagram account, you're going to choose that option so you can create another one. So that you can then, and you can manage both Instagram accounts on your same Instagram app. So it becomes very simple. And then the last thing it's going to do is it's going to say sign up, and you're going to put in all the information, sign up with phone or email. You're going to do all those things. You can sign up with your Facebook page, or you can sign up with your phone or email, and then it just walks you through the steps. So I really didn't need to take you to all that, but I just wanted to show you where the add account setting was, or where the add account section was inside of your current Instagram account. But follow Carrie J. Fitzpatrick with your new page, and follow works so that we can follow you back and we can start your followers in there. And then you're going to add in neighborhood specific pictures, things that are going on in the neighborhood. The same stuff that you would do inside of Facebook, you're going to do on inside of Instagram. And the fun thing about Instagram is that when you're adding things into Instagram, you can click off a button that says, yes, put this to my Facebook page too. So you don't have to do double entry, because Instagram and Facebook are the same company now. The third thing that's part of your homework for this week is to buy a domain that represents your farm. Now, I have a way that you can do it for little bits of money, and then I have a way that you can do it for free. Wait, what? So I say here, buy a domain that represents your farm, but I realize that some of you may be just starting out and some of you may not want to buy one yet. So this could be a down the road type thing where after you've done your first couple of closings or you're in your second year, you physically go and buy the domain name. But I have a way for you to do that for a little bit of money, which you would then create, because these things are so easy to create now. I mean, anybody can do it. That's a sample of a subdivision website that was purchased. You can do it for little money per month. Let's look at www.subdivisionname.com, right? Or www.subdivisionhomeowners.com. So as an example, there's another one that's out there right now that's iloveparkland.com. Well, I love grandisle.com. I love cherryhillnewjersey.com. I love cherryhill.com, or www.cherryhill.com. Whatever your subdivision is, whatever you choose to tackle, using a subdivision specific website will really assist you in growing your business. Then, say for example, you have ilovecherryhill.com. Wouldn't it be amazing to give away ilovecherryhill.com bumper stickers? Imagine it. Imagine ilovewindhamlakes.com bumper stickers that you can give out to your homeowners. And they'll put them on their cars, and they're going to start advertising for you every single where they go, every single place they go. I'm very excited about this one. Can you tell? So this is an example of iloveparkland.com, which talks about the great news, the announcements, all the different things that you can do. Now that I think about it, you could do that and create your Facebook private group with the same name. So imagine if you said, I love Cherry Hill as your Facebook private group and as your Instagram name, because you're allowed to choose your own names on these things when you're doing it. Let's have a whole bunch of I loves out there and see where it gets you. The way that you can do it for some money is to go to Weebly, WEEBLY.com. www.weebly.com. And Weebly allows you to quickly and easily choose a templated website that you can go in and then customize for your own with simple drag technology or copy and paste technology. Super simple and super easy. There is a basic use or free version that will have Weebly written all over it. You can go to the pro version, which is what I suggest, for $12 a month. So you can either use the free or you can use the pro. So now that I've told you all of the different things that you're going to do, we're going to construct your master task lists and accountability deadlines. So your first one is going to be build my website and social media private group. Now on this example, I have August 15th. So if you want to take until August 15th to do that, that's fine, but I wouldn't. I would definitely move my dates up since we're, in a different month. And then you're going to announce it. So you're going to announce your website and your private group via door hanger and postcard. But you can also announce it via telephone. You have the ability to do free things. You can also announce it by door knocking. You can simply go in and take your phone and say, hey, door knock. Hi, my name is Carrie Fitzpatrick from ABC Realty. And I am just wanted to let you know that I've created a private group on Facebook. Would you mind if I followed you on Facebook? Oh, what's your name on Facebook? Oh, do you have an Instagram account? And you can have your phone right there at the door and have something to talk about. Have you been thinking about buying or selling? And it's just a conversation opener. You're also getting to talk to them. You're going in there and you're doing what? Yes, building your rapport and your credibility inside of the neighborhood. So you can do it by door knocking, you can do it by telephone calls, and you can also do it by sending out a door hanger or a postcard. You can write a handwritten letter with a little business card in there with your names of your groups. You can do all sorts of things, but I want you to touch these people twice per month. So let's talk about what that would look like and how you're going to do that. You can do that through doing a neighborhood newsletter. But you can also just do the one-page featured listing value report. So you can do a featured listing. You can put the address of the one that you just listed, or we just listed, right? Anybody in your office that listed one, you can do that. You can say, we just listed this property. And you can also say just listed, not that you just listed it, but somebody did. And that's the featured listing. And then you're going to search that MLS and the tax rolls. You're not going to put that listing agent's name or brokerage on it, right? You're just announcing it. There's a listing. And that's if you don't have one, so you can break in that way. Put your logo all over it and your name all over it. I don't know if you can see there on the right-hand side, but that in the newsletter, it says Russ and Carrie Fitzpatrick. It has her phone number. It's got the company logo, of course, because we want to, be legal. And for more information to call you. And then obviously you're always going to have your tagline, right? I can sell your home for the highest price if you can close before the holiday season. Well, what holiday season? Before the summer, before the holiday season, before tax day, before 4th of July, or pick a holiday, because you're trying to create that sense of urgency. You're trying to give them something that's not just open-ended. So this is a value report or market overview that you are going to furnish to your geographic farm area because you've already chosen it. The other thing that we talked about or I mentioned is maybe dropping things off like a flag. So you can call your local title company, inspection company, lawn maintenance company, roofer, or any other vendor that in the same area. Remember we talked about that for your events that you're going to host, right? So any of those people become your cabinet of service providers. You're creating a relationship with them. You're creating a relationship with them that's going to allow them to advertise with you for a fee so that you get yours for less money or no money. Heck, you might even make money on the deal and be able to do something else with it, right? So think about it. If you're advertising enough people with you, you might be able to make this as another source of income. I'm just teasing. Do not become an advertising agency. What I'm saying is that you could get it to where maybe your flags pay for also part of your social event. So you can do 9/11, you can do 4th of July, and you can do these flags and distribute them each year. But I want you to do it every single year. Don't do it one year and then not do it the next year. Make it a staple inside of your area, inside of your farm area. They know. I mean, I knew that there was this one agent inside of my neighborhood that every single year that he was going to put flags out. And that I knew that on the 3rd, my flag was going to be in my yard. It got to the point where I didn't have to put my flag out anymore. I no longer had to do it because my neighborhood was going to have flags every single year. And I'm sure you've seen neighborhoods like that. It's becoming fewer and further between, right? It kind of became less in vogue inside of the real estate community. Well, I want to bring it back, and I want you to wrap or staple a small tag to each flag. I think stapling works the best. You can also put a little baggie on it, put that little baggie on it with your business card in it and staple that to it. You can also use rubber bands, you can use clips, any way that works best on the flag that you choose to do. And in order for you to find them, simply go on Google and say small American flags to purchase. And 100 different places will come up that you can search and buy them from. And then you have to figure out which size you're most comfortable with, what price you're most comfortable with, and what vendors are going to help you to pay for that. And when you're doing this, remember who gave you this idea. Don't go to your loan officer and ask them for money. They already have their skin in the game, and they deserve to be advertised with you, because it's because of them that you even know that you should do this. So put their information on there as well. The only thing that you should be going to your loan officer for is for maybe something that they wish to include. The other thing that you can do is the public school calendar. Especially if you're in a family-friendly area, get that public school calendar online, save it as a PDF or a JPEG, or if you have to, you can rebuild it yourself, and then build a frame or a template for the calendar around it, and add your photo, your logo, your website, your Facebook group, because you have one now, right? Your Instagram group or your Instagram page. Add your stuff, your number, your email address, and use that call to action. Call me. I can sell your Shadowwood home for the highest price. I have many families that inquire about the school district every single year, and I can sell your home for the highest possible price if you can move before the holiday season. And this must also become an annual occurrence. You know what the good news is that these things that are becoming annual occurrences, these things that are becoming a staple inside of the community, next year when you go to write that business plan, that layout of when you're going to do what, it's already pre-filled because you already know a few of your events that are going to happen. You might tweak a few things here and there. You might take out one event and add a different event. But these things like school calendars and flags, and my next example, like luminarias. Luminarias are an interesting thing that happen. It really creates a sense of community. I started it in a neighborhood. I forget what year it was that I started it, so I can't give you the year that I started it, but I started it a long time ago. I've since turned it over to a different real estate professional since I'm no longer selling real estate, and it is still going on today. And I will have to tell you, it's probably going on like 16 years now, that this neighborhood is still doing luminarias because I brought it. And let me explain to you what it is. It's sand, tea light candles, and white paper bags. That's what luminarias is. You're going to use that maybe as one of your phone calls that you're making. Instead of doing a survey, you're going to say, hey, luminarias is coming up. You're going to organize the entire luminaria celebration. You're going to promote the date and the time well in advance. You're going to create a rallying point, and you're going to enroll lots of helpers, especially younger kids, in order to help. You're going to send plenty of reminders in your Facebook group, on your Instagram, in your newsletter, in your value report, and in email. You're going to roll up your sleeves and become a social community leader. And this also will become an annual occurrence. So the only thing that it takes for these luminarias is for you to get approximately how many bags you think are going to fit in front of each person's house. You're going to get a load of sand, a small load of sand. You can even go to Home Depot or Lowe's and buy, play sand or sandbox sand or paver sand, and you're going to have it at that rallying point, and you're going to have those tea lights, and you're going to set a time for people to come and pick up their bags and their sand and their candles. So what do you get to do when it's that time for them to pick those things up? You get to interact with the neighbors. You get to interact with the community. You get to be there. You get to talk to them, and you get to talk to them about what's happening in the neighborhood. You get to learn more about what's happening in the neighborhood. You get to learn who's thinking about selling, not even necessarily from them, right? So Mr. Jones might be thinking about selling, but he may have told Mrs. Smith that he is. So now you're having these conversations, and Mr. Jones doesn't tell you that he's thinking about selling, but Mrs. Smith said, hey, did you hear that Mr. Jones is thinking about selling? So all of these things happen as a result of these events. All of these things happen because you're rubbing elbows, you're belly button to belly button, eyeball to eyeball with these homeowners at these events. You're also going to be invited to some of them. They're going to say, hey, I'm having a party, come on over and celebrate with us. And you get to drive through the neighborhood. And you're advertising that this is happening inside of that neighborhood. Because let me tell you, the community that I started this with, those people, if somebody's not going to be in town on the day that the Luminatius is happening, the neighbors do it for them, because not one home in the entire neighborhood does not have white paper bags with candles lit in front of it on the Saturday before Christmas every single year. And they still do it on the Saturday before Christmas every single year. That is a true fact. It becomes an annual occurrence. It becomes something that their friends that don't even live in the neighborhood start to ask them, oh, is it going to be the Saturday before Christmas? And advertise it as that. So always advertise it when you're doing it the first time, the second time, the third time, well, the whole time, as the Saturday before Christmas, December 21st. The Saturday before Christmas, December 17th. The Saturday before Christmas, December 18th, so that the Saturday before Christmas always starts to stay as a staple in their mind. So they know that it's going to be the Saturday before Christmas, so they don't have to ask you next year. They know that it's going to be on the 17th, the 18th, the 19th, and they start to plan around it. So if they're making their holiday plans prior to you advertising it that year, they know and they can count on that it's going to be the Saturday before Christmas. I hope that makes sense to you. The same thing holds true for flags. Do it always, always do it on the 3rd, or always do it on that Saturday before the 4th. Always do it the Saturday before 9/11, getting ready for, or on 9/11 itself, or, the 10th. When you're doing these things, make it a staple. In addition to that, you're going to pick a spot in the neighborhood to have a Halloween celebration. Yes, you're going to have a Halloween celebration. Maybe you just sold a home and you became friendly with the neighbor, with the person who just bought that home. So it's a new neighbor that you just sold, and you're going to help them. You're going to say, I want to help you to become a part of this neighborhood community. I want you to help you to meet some neighbors. So I want to bring over some trick-or-treating stuff. I'm going to bring over my table and my chair, and I'm going to sit here with you, and we're going to sit and we're going to pass out adult trick-or-treating and children trick-or-treating, right? So get some wine, get some beer, bring some chips or snacks. Capri Suns always worked out well, especially, in our area, because there was a lot of times when it was very hot when they were trick-or-treating. Or if you're up north, maybe you want to set up one of those heaters out front, one of those gas heaters, and you want to set up like with a thermos with hot chocolate or Irish coffee or something to that effect, right? And then you can also have regular coffee. You don't have to just add, the adult trick-or-treating. Set up at the guardhouse if they have one, or at the end of a cul-de-sac. Maybe you live in the place that you've decided that you're going to farm, so do it at your house. Maybe you have a home listed in there and you're doing it at their house. But find a place to do it inside of that neighborhood, and it really becomes a staple and a holiday event. And they know that you're going to do it and that you're going to bring out things for them to snack on. And you're also going to have your business cards. And you're also going to talk to Mr. Jones and Mrs. Smith. And you're going to find out that Mrs. Smith now wants to sell and Mr. Jones decided that he didn't want to. You're going to be able to find out information about what's going on in the neighborhood. And you're going to be able to add that information on your Facebook private group. You're going to congratulate people for getting new roofs. You're going to congratulate people for things that they're doing inside of there. You're also going to find out who's getting ready to graduate. So you're going to congratulate the graduating class that's coming up. So that's another thing that you can do. Maybe you can get a flyer or banner, and you're going to make that banner and put it in the front of the thing saying, congratulations, class of 2025. You're going to identify all the seniors that you know, and you're going to make a phone call to say, hey, do you have anybody graduating this year? I'm getting ready to make a banner for the neighborhood. It's a reason for you to talk to them. It's a reason for you to become friendly with them. You're going to get to know these people and they're going to get to know you. You have the whole year to compile this information. So when you're talking to them when you're dropping off your flags, and you run into somebody, ask them the question, do you know of anybody that's graduating this year? When you're having that survey conversation with them on the telephone or door knocking, ask them the question, do you know anybody that's graduating this year? When you're having that Halloween party or you're doing Luminatias, ask the question so that you can create that banner where they put up congratulations, graduating class from the high school that is. And this also becomes an annual occurrence. Do you see where all this stuff is starting to take shape now? So when you're doing that homework, some of the things are on dates that are a foregone conclusion. Halloween's in October. Luminatias is in December. Graduation is May or June. Flags are July and September. It's starting to fill in now, right? And then you can pepper in the middle those phone calls and those door knocking opportunities and those door hangers. You become a neighborhood or a household name inside of that area. The next thing is the community-wide garage sale. Now you've created a community. You are the one who created a community inside of this community. Because let's face it, neighborhoods aren't the way that they used to. So let's get it back to that. So you're going to start 6 to 9 months in advance to create a community-wide garage sale. Let me tell you something. If some real estate professional inside of the neighborhood that I just moved from would have offered to have a community-wide garage sale, I would have jumped at the chance. And I know that my neighbors would have also. Let me tell you why. Because in our neighborhood, you were forbidden from having a garage sale or a yard sale. So what better thing than for you as the real estate professional to lobby with the president of the homeowners association to have a community-wide garage sale once or twice a year. You sponsor it, of course, along with your cabinet of service providers, right? Your roofer, your title company, your loan officer, neighborhood restaurants, maybe the car wash place that's in the neighborhood, maybe a mobile car wash dealer that wants to, break into the area. And you're going to have this free neighborhood garage sale that you're going to place the ads for. You're going to post it on Craigslist. You're going to post it in the local paper. You're going to post it on Facebook. Maybe I'll tell you about that next week. But maybe you're going to target people inside of that map, maybe a 3-mile radius of that neighborhood. You're going to place those ads and you're going to advertise it and you're going to get people there. But you know what's going to happen? You're going to create a map of the participating households. And you're going to include your logo, your call to action, your name, and your contact info. You're going to print several dozen for each participating person, for each household that's participating in your garage sale. You're going to then go around in the morning, on the morning of the garage sale or the day before, and you're going to hand them these and say, I took the liberty of creating a map of the people who are participating in the garage sale. Get it? Are you with me? Would you mind passing it out to the people who come so that they can see where they should go next? So now your name, your information, the person that's on that. So not only are you creating rapport and credibility inside of your geographic farm, but you're also advertising to the people who are coming into that community. And you're going to visit each household. What are you going to ask them while you're there? Do you know anybody who's graduating? And that's just one more thing that you can make a phone call about. So now you're not cold calling saying, are you thinking about selling your house? It's, oh, by the way, do you know anybody who's thinking about moving? At the end of the conversation or somewhere in it. A community-wide garage sale could be peppered inside of those dates that aren't September, October, December, because you already are passing out the flags September 11th. You're already passing out the flags July 4th. You're already doing the Halloween party or Halloween get-together on Halloween. You're already doing your Luminatias in December, if you so choose to use our examples and do the things that we're doing. So maybe in April, you do a garage sale for spring cleaning. Maybe you do it in March when there's not anything else going on. And then in February, you have it's almost over, winter's almost over happy hour that you get somebody to sponsor at the local neighborhood pub or restaurant. So all of these things are something that you should do as your put down on your assignment as your assignments for the year so that you're touching these people at least twice per month. Phone call about the next thing that's going on and what's the next thing going on? Whatever that event is. You're really creating that rapport and credibility inside of your area so that you can start to build that foundation inside of your geographic farm as a source of business inside of your real estate career. Please make sure that you email your homework or your assignment sheet that I showed you so that I can look it over and see what it is that you are committing to. So that's Farming Fridays for today. I hope that that helps you to start to build that foundation. We're going to add layer upon layer upon layer in order for you to become the household name inside of your chosen storefront. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.